Money is one of the most important subjects of your entire life. Some of life's greatest enjoyments and most of life's greatest disappointments stem from your decisions about money. Whether you experience a great peace of mind or constant anxiety will depend on getting your finances under control. As quoted by Robert G. Allen, a well-known investment advisor and author of Nothing Down and Multiple Stems of Income. In today's fast-paced world, people want things right now. They don't want to have to wait for loans. They don't want to have to wait for money coming in or your next paycheck. You want things, and you want good things right now. You want new clothes, new cars, new furniture. You want to have the best of everything, and you want it now. You don't have time to wait for all those other things. So a credit card can have a great advantage for people who want to buy things. You can apply for a credit card, you can go out and buy things, you can put gas in your car, you can buy a birthday gift, a last minute birthday gift that you just don't have money for if you don't have extra money on the side after you pay all your bills. Out of all the perks of credit cards can have a huge negative effect on your credit. You can apply for credit cards, and if you miss payments, all of a sudden you'll have huge interest rates. You won't be able to make your payments, your interest rates will skyrocket, your credit rating will decline. After all the negative effects, you can wake up one day and decide, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with myself? My credit is horrible and I don't have the money to pay for it. That's what happened to me. I applied for a credit card my first year of college. I decided everybody else has credit cards, I can apply for one, and if I don't get it, I'm not out anything. If I do, here I have this extra credit card. So I apply for a credit card, I get approved, I get the credit card in the mail, I activate it, it has a $300 limit on it. I think, wow, this is amazing. I've got tons of extra money now, I don't have to pay my bills with it, I can run to the store. So I think it was October, about this time of year, I decided to go to Walmart. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, so I go to Walmart and I buy all kinds of Halloween decorations, new clothes, new makeup, groceries, you name it. I spent the entire credit card. I maxed the whole thing out in one day. That's all it took me, one day, max it out completely. And I think, well, that's no big deal. You know, you have a $10 payment a month, I can afford that. My credit card's maxed out. And I started thinking, well, if I got one credit card, I should certainly be able to apply for another one. So I apply for more credit cards. I get Maurice's, I get Victoria's Secret, MasterCard, Visa. I get them all. Before you know it, I have 6 credit cards. And with over a span of about 6 to 7 years, I maxed them all out. I've got a $5,000 credit limit on one, a $4,000 credit on another one. I've maxed them all out. And I can't make my payments. I've missed a few payments here and there, so the credit card, the interest rates skyrocket. Your credit hugely declines. You have tons of late fees. My entire paycheck is going to credit card payments. I wake up one day and I realize I have no money. I can't make these payments. I have $30,000 in student loans, and now I have a $25,000 credit debt, which is ridiculous. I think, what am I going to do? What do you do when you get yourself in this debt and now you're sitting here and you can't afford anything? So I spoke to family members, I spoke to friends, and I decided that, you know, I couldn't deal with this anymore. I had to figure out a plan to deal with the credit card debt. And they suggested talking to a credit card counselor. So you can go online, you can find any kind of credit card counselor. Some of them charge fees. You need to be careful. You want to look for a nonprofit counselor. Usually they'll charge a $25 fee, $50 fee. And they'll sit down with you. You can take your budget, you take your bills, your credit cards, you lay them out, see what you make, see what you can afford, and then take the next step in deciding how you're going to pay this credit card debt. So I sat down, I made my monthly budget, and my counselor told me my options. You can borrow money from a friend or family member. You can look at taking out a loan, call a debt management program. Maybe you're going to do nothing. Maybe you're just going to ignore the whole debt, or you could file bankruptcy. So we looked at all the positives and negatives on each one. Borrow money from a friend or relative. Maybe you have a rich friend or relative who's going to give you money, and they'll let you pay it off at a low interest or no interest, or maybe they're just going to gift you some money so you don't have to pay that interest at all. But then you have to look at owing a friend money. What if they need the money back all of a sudden and you don't have the money to pay them? You could start a family feud or lose a close friend because you don't have that money to pay them back. You take out a loan. You can apply for a loan. Maybe you can get a loan that's going to cover all of your credit cards. You can make one monthly payment with a lower interest rate. But now that your credit is already ruined from all these missed payments and late fees and high credit card payments, a lot of times getting a loan is not something the bank will allow you to do. They'll look at your credit and they'll say, we can't give you any more money, you already owe this much. And so you may not qualify for a loan. A debt management program, you can contact a debt management program. They'll take a look at your loans, they'll lump everything together and take a fee, an additional fee you'll have to pay them, and you'll make one monthly payment to them. And a lot of times you can have your credit cards paid off in 3 to 5 years, just making that one monthly payment. But you may not be able to afford this huge payment plus the additional fee that they take. It's going to be like an $800 to $1,000 fee, depending on what your credit card debt is. And you might not be able to afford your car payments or your house payments or any other bills that you have. You can look at doing nothing. Maybe you decide that I don't even care. I'm not going to call these credit cards. I'm just going to let it go. You can just let them go and ignore them. Pay all your other bills. But you are going to get constant phone calls, either on your own phone or on your work phone. They're going to call you morning, noon, and night, all day long. If it gets to a certain point that you've ignored them, a lot of times they'll work with you. They'll say, okay, we realize you can't make your payments. We need something from you. Maybe you can just make a portion of the payments. Maybe you can just pay us half. And of course, you're still going to have negative credit from all of these. And since you've gone so long, you're going to definitely have negative credit from doing nothing. Sometimes they'll work with you, or sometimes they'll just send you to a credit collection agency, and then you'll have to go to a lawyer, or you could end up in jail for not paying these bills. Your last and final option, this would want to be your last resort, is file bankruptcy. If you have such a high debt, you can file bankruptcy. File either a Chapter 7 or 13. At Chapter 7, you would file, everything will be wiped out. And now your counselor will talk to you about this. They'll wipe out your entire credit card debt, other than your home and your car. If you want to keep them, you must keep paying them. You may qualify for a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which would mean they'll wipe out a portion of your debt, but you still need to continue to make payments on some of that debt that you owe. And to file bankruptcy, you need to contact a lawyer. Lawyers are expensive. They can be anywhere from $500 to $5,000. They have to sit down with you. You have to do pre-bankruptcy counseling and post-bankruptcy counseling, which also can add additional fees to your credit. It may wipe out your complete credit, but you're still going to have bad credit for almost 7 years. It could be close to 7 years. So those are your options. And after you weigh all of your options out, you and your counselor will sit down and decide which is best for you. Everyone has a different financial situation. So regardless of what you do, you need to take your time and plan and get yourself back on your feet. Just one day at a time, you need to make that decision that you're going to get yourself out of debt and get yourself out of debt. And you can do it on your own.